So I know we've all seen those super weird, crazy, and interesting things that show up on Google Maps. Now, I spend a lot of time on Google Maps, checking out the different years, how things have changed, places I've been, places I want to go, stalking my 4th grade teacher, all sorts of things like that. And I came across something kind of interesting. So here is the best Google Maps conspiracy theory that I have ever found personally on my own time. So as you can see here, we have the map of Canada. At the BC-Alberta border on Highway 3, there used to be a pink hotel. I remember driving by it as a kid, so I went back to April of 2009 to look at the Michelle Hotel, the haunted pink hotel that used to be there. And upon looking around, you see this car with this little pillar and a ball up top? That's a Google car. Now you might be thinking, wait, but we're in the Google car. You are correct. There are 2 Google cars traveling together as they enter BC. So I asked myself, how far did they travel together? So I followed them to see just how far they went. And this is that journey. Look, you got this beautiful tunnel. But if you go back to April of 2009, there it is. The dark blue Chevy Cobalt Google car. So I started to skip ahead quite a ways. Let's go here, for example, right along the Crow's Nest Highway in the middle of nowhere. And you go back to April of 2009. Wait, what the fuck? There we go! Silver Chevy Cobalt. There's the car in front, which means we are the dark blue Chevy Cobalt Google car. The first mystery, you will see. The sun is up in the sky in that direction. There's a van parked here on the side of the road. And here, there you go. There's our dark blue Chevy Cobalt, and there's a red Chevy Cobalt. Why are there 3 Google cars? But my favorite part is if we go back here, still April 2009, the van is still there and the sun is still behind us. But now there's semi-trucks ahead of us, which means this is Google car number 4. Why? So here, there is no cars ahead, some cars behind, sun is still over there, van is still parked on the side of the road. This is Google car number 5. We're going straight down Highway 3B here. You can see they all went straight. But as soon as we get right here, now there's a silver one going that way as well. So how many fucking Google cars went down the highway in BC in April of 2009? And that's when I realized. You will see. And eventually, this silver car slams on its brakes. Because what did they do? They turned into this driveway, hooked a U-turn, came back through the intersection, which is why the silver car and the blue car were going back down Highway 3. How could this get any crazier, you might think, right? Well, I kept following them all the way down Highway 3, continuing down all the way to Osoyoos. There's our dark blue grayish car. And here's the silver one. Now, why are they in the turning lane? Are they going to go explore this section of town? No, they're going to fucking McDonald's for lunch. I mean, I don't blame them. I'd want some chicken nuggets too. Here they are, leaving the McDonald's parking lot. And eventually, we get into Vancouver and the Lower Mainland. Here's a prime example of how things changed over time. There's that beautiful bridge. That bridge didn't exist. But there's our Google car. Now, the blue car is leading the way and the silver car is tailing behind. And the last place that I was able to track them to. So, if you want to go back over to this area in Coquitlam, British Columbia, and find out where they went, feel free. But this is the last point that I could track them. Going off exit 44 down that road. I've searched all the surrounding roads, and I can't see them together anymore. In the end, they traveled all the way from the Alberta border. But why stop there? I mean, they must have come from somewhere, but where? So we followed them back, and to make sure they came from the Alberta side, I checked out the Frank slide. There they are. Our star duo. You can track them all the way back, going through Lethbridge, at the major Lethbridge overpass, the train bridge. That thing, right? That thing. There's our silver car leading the way. They even filmed part of The Last of Us here. Kyle, if you could find that clip, can you play it now? Or maybe it's copyright? I don't know. You can do that though, right? But we run into an issue in Medicine Hat. Highway 3 comes to an end. Did they come from up the road towards Calgary? Or did they come from farther east? Ignore these dots. They're giving it away. So I went to Highway 1 at the Alberta-Saskatchewan border. And sure enough, there they are. Silver Bullet and dark blue bitch. Oh yeah, there's this guy, Brett Norman, who rode his bike across at the same time in August 2021. And sometimes you drop the map, it's just Brett Norman. It's just Brett Norman, and that's it. I can't even change the dates until we start moving around. Brett Norman, you really fucked this up, okay? Like, I appreciate you trying to keep the maps updated, but you really fucked this up. Continue to track them back all the way through to Brandon, Manitoba. At this turnoff, you can see that they, for some reason, drove this way, made a right turn off the road to backtrack down the road. There they go, driving back the other way on a dirt road. God knows why. Eventually you see they stopped at Esso for gas. And maybe Timmy's for a double-double. So if you look over here, there's Mr. Red from the turnoff of Highway 3 and Highway 3B, still traveling with them either ahead or behind them. Winnipeg. I couldn't find them anywhere in Winnipeg, not even going down the main road. The reason being that they turned and went around Winnipeg like any sane person would. Because, let's be honest, if you're going into Winnipeg, you better expect to be getting stabbed at some point. So I don't blame them for driving around. I would have done the same thing. But just before Winnipeg, boom, there's Dark Blue up front, and the elusive Mr. Red is back. Now, is Mr. Red a slow driver or a speed demon? Is Mr. Red getting ahead or falling behind? Because sometimes Mr. Red is there, and sometimes Mr. Red ceases to exist. Bow, bow, bow. So now, we've tracked them all the way from Coquitlam, British Columbia, straight back Highway 3 through Medicine Hat, all the way through Regina, back to Winnipeg. That's halfway across the fucking country. They are driving a long fucking ways. So, continuing down, you can see Silver Bullet is passing a red minivan, and there is Dark Blue, which means this picture is taken by the elusive Mr. Red. When I started this journey, I really didn't think that we were gonna go all the way back to fucking Ontario. But apparently, they did. Again, Mr. Red is nowhere to be seen. You can see them in Vermilion Bay. Coming right out of town with Dark Blue, Silver, which I assume we are, and the elusive Mr. Red just a little ways ahead of them. But let's jump a little farther, shall we? Now here's where it gets very interesting and shows signs that we might be getting closer to the starting point. Here, just north of Thunder Bay, if you look ahead, there's Dark Blue. But if you look closely at the top of these cars, it almost looks like they have cameras as well as a black Cobalt. But now we have 5 Google cars traveling together, so now I'm really checked in. Where did they come from and where did they go? I checked every intersection to see where they might have come from, and sure enough, there's the black Chevy Cobalt. Here's Mr. Red. We got a Dark Blue, another Dark Blue Gray, and a Silver, adding up to a total of 5. Could you imagine driving down the road and seeing 5 Google cars pass by you? That is so many fucking Google cars. How many Google cars have you seen in your life? The average amount of Google cars that anyone has seen in their life is 0.86. There are 5 of them right here. I completely made up that number, but it sounded realistic, didn't it? So I scoured all these rows to try and figure out where they may have gone, where they may have come from. Well, sure enough, 3 Google cars. 2 Dark Gray Blue, and 1 Silver Bullet. I know what you're thinking. How far can you possibly take this? This video is already so boring, and you're not really uncovering anything except for stalking these poor, innocent folks. And to that I say, fuck you, I spent too much time tracking these fuckers across the country, and you're gonna listen to their story because they worked hard for us to be able to see where they had lunch. Speaking of, they stopped at Esso, just over in Ontario, to get some food and gas as well. But it's weird, because not far down the road, you can see that they took another detour just to stop at yet another gas station. And these 2 gas stations are not overly far apart in the grand scheme of things. We arrive in Sault Ste. Marie, but if you look closely, there's a blue, this is a black car. And there might be another one up there. So now we're up to 4 Google cars, potentially, coming out of Sault Ste. Marie. And we can track them back this road. Sure enough, where the fuck did they go? Boom, boom, boom. 3 Google cars. Still don't know where the elusive Mr. Red went, but track them back a few blocks and you can see that they turned. They turned onto Church Street coming down this road. And if you track that road back, this intersection right here. Why the fuck is there construction? Well, you can see that we have 1, 2 Google car, and a third one parked in that parking lot. Now, why would they be parked in that parking lot? That is the parking lot for the Quality Inn Suites Bayfront 3-star hotel. The Google cars left in the morning of one day in April of 2009 from the Quality Inn Suites and Bayfront 3-star hotel in Sault Ste. Marie near the Canadian-American border and traveled all the way to Coquitlam, British Columbia, where they supposedly turned off their cameras and called it a day. We may not know where Mr. Red ended up, but Silver Bullet and Blue Bitch took the whole trek together. And that trip, taking that route without any stops, is 3,721 kilometers, or this many miles for my American friends, which would have taken them approximately 39 hours of non-stop driving to get it done. Now, I know this was a different type of video, but I spent too long tracking this back. I initially found this like fucking 8 months ago. From what I've seen so far, looking farther down the Trans-Canada Highway, I just can't seem to find any April 2009 drops along the highway. Let me know who your favorite car was. Was it the mysterious red car? What did I call him? Was it Silver Bullet? Blue Bitch? The Blue Imposter? The Black Mamba? Which one is your favorite? Anyway, until next time, thank you all so much for watching this weird fucking rant of mine, and I'll catch you all on the flip-flop. Godsend. Wait, but what if they came from the States? Oh, fucking Brett Norman went through the fucking States too? Are you fucking shitting me? Why the fuck are you down here, Brett Norman? Who the fuck is Matt Schnuchauer? Where the fuck did Brett Norman go? Where did Brett Norman come from? Oh my god, we need to track Brett Norman now. Brett Norman, who the fuck are you?